right now, let's start with introductions. We have dancers from all over joining us. Every week, I have to tell you, this group of dancers has been together for 8 days. This is day number 8 of them working together. People, yeah. We are very fortunate to constantly, well, our tagline is always moving, and we are always moving individually and collectively. And we just graduated 2 dancers from Dance Work Chicago, and they will be gracing the stages of the Chicago community, in a month. And we are fortunate to have 2 new dancers join us. So we have 4 returning dancers and 2 new dancers joining us. Let's just do some introductions, who you are, where you're from, when you joined Dance Work Chicago, and your favorite Olympic sport.
My name is Lewis Jackson. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I joined Dance Work Chicago on February 8th, 2010. And my favorite Olympic sport is any of the summer games, the gymnastics.
Hey guys, I'm Rebecca Niziel. I am from Houston, Texas. I joined DanceWorks in January of 2008, so I'm a founding member. And my favorite Winter Olympic sport would probably be the snowboarding one with all the tricks in it.
How you doing? My name is James Johnson from Chicago, Illinois. I've been with I've been with DanceWorks since April of '09, and my favorite Olympic sport, figure skating. Dun, 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 dun. Okay.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Blake. I'm from Cary, Illinois, which is far, far away. And I joined DanceWorks in August of '08. And my favorite Winter Olympic sport is pairs figure skating.
Hi, I'm Joseph Kudra. I joined DanceWorks in February of this year. I'm from Chicago Heights, Illinois. My favorite Winter Olympic sport, I think, is speed skating.
Hello, I'm Antoinette Lum. I go by Tony for short. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I joined DanceWorks January 2009. And I guess my favorite Winter Olympic sport would be figure skating or speed skating. Skating.
All right, so I'm going to be leading the Q&A, so we'd like to open it up to you guys if you want to give us feedback, or if you have any questions for us, or you want to know more about us. Feel free to raise your hand. Now, Q, you. Yes. Right on. Yeah, it's really funny too if you listen to all the words, and like even we find things like years later, or some of us weeks later, that you never heard before. So each time you see it, if you come like next Tuesday when we do it again in the full-length version, you'll hear different things that are pretty funny. Thanks. Another question? Or a comment? Anyone? Yeah. Does anyone want to speak on that one? Up here?
It's in the program.
Kim?
The title, the music is listed in the program as far as the actual composer and whatnot. Sorry.
Yeah. The thing that's most interesting about Robert's work is he not feeds off, but he plays with the music a lot. It's like a marriage. So certain things, certain steps are to certain like beats or notes or something. And that's the real cool thing about Robert's choreography. It's always like playing with the music. And he always finds things that you don't really think about in the music. And you're like, oh, work, that's fierce. You know what I'm saying? He plays with it a lot.
Any other questions? Did you guys have a favorite of today's program? Whose favorite was the first piece, Etude? Last one. Thanks. Yeah, Harrison has a lot of interesting choreographic ideas. But each choreographer does something different, And that's what's so great about having a mixed rep show like this. So, any questions for us up here? No? In the middle.
How do we remember all the complicated dance moves? Rehearsal, rehearsal, rehearsal. Yeah, we actually work. We have class from 9:30 until 11, Monday through Friday, and then 11:15 to 1:30 we rehearse, and usually 2:15 to 4:30 we have rehearsal. So every day we're working on, if we're learning a piece, it's getting the movement in our bodies and then running the pieces in order to like get it really on lockdown. And also sometimes as dancers, everything may not go smoothly as rehearsed on stage, and part of our job is making that look seamless and for the audience not to realize just how not smooth it went. But it's fun, and we get to play with each other and act with each other every day. Anybody else?
Muscle memory is a really big thing too. Like once we rehearse it a lot and over again, and you go home and do your own work over and over again, it begins to be locked in the body, so you don't have to think about it that much. So you got to think about it.
Also, a lot of times, like myself, I'm a visual learner, so a lot of times when I have to think over the material, I think of these guys and how I see their bodies moves. And even though I know what the count is, I have a copy of the music in my mind. I can see them a little bit, or I can think about the spacing or how we transition. And it was kind of difficult, especially being one of the two that have only been rehearsing these pieces. Everything you saw today, we started learning on the 8th. And so that was a challenge. And it's still a challenge, and it'll be different next week when we perform again. So yeah, today is a learning experience. Today, even though it's a performance, it's still a bit of that learning experience, a bit of that the challenge, that rehearsal. This is our first audience, so thank you for coming today, by the way.
I think there's one more question in the back. We'll take that as our last question. Okay, James, do you want to start that? So we'll talk about our experience with the different choreographers.
I can start with Harrison, because we just had him recently. He was here on Friday, and that was the choreographer for the last piece that you just saw, Dance Sport. And the good thing about Harrison is, like, he's not really anal about, like, little things. He's more, like, about the performance quality of it and the rawness of it, and he likes to keep that raw stuff about it. So that's what I like about Harrison, because he's not like, finger here, point that, da-da-da-da. You know, he gives us freedom to do our own little thing, and he gives us freedom to play off of each other. And Harrison is like on 1,000 all the time. His energy is always like ready to go all the time, and he's like very energetic. So you have to keep up with him all the time. So that's a good thing to work with him. Anybody want to talk about anyone else, like Robert?
The third piece, if ever, was choreographed by Alex Kelly, and actually, yeah, I think Becca and I are the only two that worked with the choreographer on that piece, and it was actually a lot of our input in the piece, and there's a little bit of improv, and then do a little bit of improv, and every time we do that piece, it's completely different. So he would choreograph a solo, and then we would each do it, and then play with it, and then somehow it would work into the choreography. So that one was definitely a mixture.
I said something about If Ever Again. If Ever was the piece with the three couples at the end. And if you notice, like, we're all kind of doing the same steps, but we all do it from our own personality-wise. You know, our own couple, or our own, like, put our own little spice on it. And that's the good thing about Alex's work with that piece, is like you could add and find like little nuances and like new adventures to do things and stuff. All right. Just a moment.
All right, well, thanks again for coming, you guys. We really appreciate your support and coming out today. If you want to check us out again, we have not even a week, 6 days. Next Tuesday we'll be at the Harris Theater, and that's a noon show. It's like a brown bag lunch, so you can bring your lunch in or buy a box lunch, and it's kind of cool. We're going to be playing the different music for If Ever that, I'm sorry, I can't remember who won the competition. Christopher Pericelli. His music won the sound competition, so we'll be performing to his music, and we'll be doing Dance Sport in its full entirety, and adding some little surprises into the other works. So, yeah. Bye guys, thanks. Have a good rest of your Wednesday.